What's up, my comic comrades? The long voyage to the finale of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Last Ronin miniseries has finally arrived. This title has been plagued with delays and was originally scheduled to wrap up around 6 months ago, but alas, better late than never. Despite the long wait times, this has been one of my personal favorite Ninja Turtle comics ever, so I can't wait to wrap up the series with the last and final issue. For those of you who aren't up to speed with this series, the Last Ronin story is written by Turtle creators Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird, and is essentially how they wanted to end the Turtle story. Again, it's been brilliant so far. If you haven't read it for yourself, you really need to do so. You could also get a general overview of the story by watching our previous videos on each of the first 4 issues. On a separate note, we want to let you all know that Variant is now on TikTok, and I've already started posting some fun new content over there. So if you're on TikTok, jump on and follow us at Variant Comics. Let's see how fast we can get to 10,000 followers. We also want to give you an update on Variant the podcast, as we've been on a short hiatus. As we've been talking about, we are in the process of developing several new things for Variant that we're very excited about, some of which will include format and structural changes for both shows. We're not ready to announce anything specific just yet, but we wanted to let you know that the podcast will be back in a week or 2. So thank you for your patience in the meantime. We also want to thank the VPN we use, NordVPN, for sponsoring today's episode. They're offering a great discount for the Variant audience to protect yourself and secure your internet life, and we'll get to that in just a few minutes. But let's dive into the final issue of TMNT The Last Ronin issue 5, and see how Eastman and Laird close this thing out. Starts off with Mikey back in the sewer talking to his 3 ghost brothers as they're suggesting to him what his next move should be on Hiroto. Leo tells Mike, "Raph's right, you're wasting time, Mike. Why haven't you pressed the attack against Hiroto yet? You guys caught him completely off guard. You've got the advantage." Donatello says, "Well, I know why you're just sitting in this room. You're the sole survivor, the last of us. That's a heavy burden to bear. Painful too." Raphael then speaks up saying, "Seriously? That's why you're having second thoughts? Ha, I knew you weren't strong enough to handle this. Never were. Way to let us all down, Mike." Mikey then stands up and says, "Go to hell, Raph. I wish I could bring you back just so I could kill you myself. And I know damn well what I gotta do. Finish this. End this insanity." After all this time, coming back and finding April alive, Casey Marie and the rebels, seeing how they're fighting against the Foot and that bastard Hiroto, all their sacrifices, if I fail now, more of them are gonna die, maybe all. As Mikey starts gearing up, the ghosts of his brothers keep talking in his ear. Eventually he says, "I want you all to stop talking, now." They tell him, "Right, you'd be lost without us." He says, No, I wouldn't. It's worse now than when you were alive, constantly telling me what to do. And what do I have to show for all your orders and knowledge? This is all that's left," as he holds up their weapons. Leo then says, "That's low, Mike. We all did our part." Donatello says, "Yeah, and to us, it was everything." Raphael then says, "Stinking ungrateful jerk." Mikey then tells them, "I know what you did. I live with it every damn day, and I've had enough. Leave me. Leave me now and never come back." As the ghosts of his brothers finally disappear, he then opens up Splinter's journal, writes something in it, and closes it before walking away. Elsewhere, we see Casey Marie try to wrangle the rebels on the surface as the city streets are in chaos due to the events of the last issue. If you don't know what those events are, it was covered in our issue 4 video right here. We are then taken to Hiroto, who's grabbing one of his soldiers saying, "What do you mean you still can't reach Stockman? The entire city will be trying to claw their way in here any minute." This displeases me greatly. As we know, Baxter Stockman was killed in the last issue, so there's going to be no way to reach him because he's dead. Hiroto then says, "Put all my soldiers on full tactical alert. Have to guard this level, have to crush those blasted rebels. No mercy. This ends here and now. And bring me my armor. I'm going to hunt and kill a mutant." As we see Mikey, aka the Last Ronin, has just arrived outside of Hiroto's tower. Meanwhile, we see Casey Marie running down to the sewer as she recently found out that the sewer is flooding due to the water pumps no longer being powered. She yells for her mom and Sensei Mikey, but only finds Splinter's journal on top of a table. She then thinks to herself, Sensei wouldn't just leave it lying around like this. What the hell's going on? She then picks up the journal and puts it in her backpack and starts running through the sewer. Her mom hears her and yells out to her. April then says, "Down here. The power system failure knocked out these water pumps. These are history. I've neglected them for too long. They've rusted shut. Help me up, kiddo." She does and asks, "Where's Sensei?" April tells her, "Mikey's not here, Casey. He left. I'm sorry." She says, "And you just let him go?" April responds, "What? Hey, no. He didn't even say goodbye to me. I went to ask him to help with the pumps, and he was already gone." Casey then says, "Damn it," as she punches a chunk out of a cement pillar. April then says, "Casey Marie Jones, stop it. You'll hurt yourself." Casey answers, "Will I? Will I really, Mom? I know I'm different. I've known for a long time, just like them. A mutant." That's right, they basically told us last issue that Casey is a mutant. April then goes on to say, Casey, yes, it's true. Your dad's and my longtime exposure to mutagen, I think it infected us. Then when I was pregnant with you, your DNA was changed, mutated. Casey goes on to ask, when were you gonna tell me? April tells her, years ago, never, I don't know. I just didn't want to face it. Then Mikey suddenly showed up again, and Casey then interrupts saying, and now he's out there fighting for us. Long story short, Casey tells her mom she's going to find Mikey and help him defeat Hiroto. We are then brought to Hiroto's building where we see Mikey has placed thermite grenades throughout, taking out a bunch of Foot Clan members. Hiroto then says, so the mutant dares another direct assault? The fool. Mikey then thinks to himself, fight or flight time, Hiroto. Please let it be fight. At this point, things are really heating up, but before we find out what happens next, we need to make sure you guys know how to protect yourself from direct assaults online. Because the amount of time we spend online with our phones, computers, tablets, and streaming devices just keeps growing. So it's never been more important to shore up your internet privacy. To make sure our digital life is on lockdown, we use NordVPN. And right now you can do the same with a massive discount offer from Nord on a 2-year plan, along with 1 additional month for free when you sign up at nordvpn.com/variant or by using our link in the description. NordVPN locks all your internet data behind a wall of next-generation encryption using their 5,000 plus remote servers in 60 countries worldwide. And on top of the incredible security their servers provide, Nord has now added their new threat protection feature, which takes your cybersecurity to the next level. Once their threat protection is turned on, it protects you from malicious sites, downloads, trackers, and intrusive ads. And the best part is that the threat protection will remain on and active even if you're not connected to a VPN server. Just click our link in the description, create your NordVPN account, download Nord across your devices, and turn it on. Nord also has the best 24/7 customer support in the industry, which we can definitely confirm. And with Nord's 30-day money-back guarantee, you can secure your digital life like we did, risk-free. Do yourself a favor and head over to nordvpn.com/variant or click our link in the description now to get a huge discount on a 2-year plan and an additional month for free. Again, that's nordvpn.com/variant. Now, let's see what happens with Mikey in the climax of The Last Ronin. On the last page, we saw Mikey bringing the fight to Hiroto at his tower. On the following panels, we see Foot Clan members laid out throughout Hiroto's building, as Mikey has just taken them all out. And I mean, he's taken out dozens of them, all by himself. He even takes on a huge boss-like character, blocking his only way to the top floor. A character that is likely inspired by the Mountain from Game of Thrones. But after he takes him out, a robotic winged machine starts attacking him, but Mikey just picks up the sword of the big boss he just beat and impales the robot right through his center. After defeating everything Hiroto throws at him, Mikey says, enough, where are you hiding, coward? Hiroto appears on the top of the stairs in the shadows saying, coward? Hardly. I'm not the one who skulked who knows where in utter fear for 10 years after all. Which one are you, by the way? You filthy monsters all look the same to me, dead or alive. Mikey or The Last Ronin replies, 16 years. It's been 16 years since you killed my family. Hiroto replies, has it? My. It's as they say, time flies when you're having fun. Mikey then starts walking up the stairs saying, whatever, all I know is this has been a long time coming, and all you need to know is I'm the one who's gonna finish it. The last of the Oroku bloodline ends tonight. You and your mother. Hiroto replies, says the worthless Ronin who couldn't save his own master. The mutant monstrosity playing at family honor, all for pretend family with no true bloodline to speak of. Mikey says, you're wrong. Our bloodline is the shared mutagen that runs through our veins. My master, my father, my brothers, your family took them all away from me, and now your family will die. As he stares at Hiroto's mom in a cryogenic chamber, but Hiroto just puts his hand on his mother's chamber saying, in truth, I always hated her. She left me as a child and never returned. I only kept her alive out of spite, lost and alone in her coffin while I conquered, while I thrived. As his Wolverine-like blades come out of his hand, he then stabs his mother's corpse. Mikey looks on saying, at least she had honor. You ready? Hiroto answers, ready? Well, I certainly didn't get all dressed up for no reason. Let us begin the end, as he activates his liquid armor, jumping towards the last Ronin. This leads to an epic several-page fight with the two of them falling out of windows, then fighting on top of rooftops, before ultimately falling to street level and fighting on the ground. And while this is happening, the comic intermittently cuts to Casey Marie, who's trying to save her mother April in the sewer. But anyway, once Mikey and Hiroto are on the street, Mikey is able to find a weakness in Hiroto's synthetic armor and kicks Leo's sword right through his stomach. Hiroto then says, fine, I yield. You win. Mikey replies, there's no win or lose today, only an end, as he picks up a manhole cover to kill him with. Hiroto then bows before him saying, you're right. And with Mikey off guard, He uses the blades on his hand to cut Mikey across the abdomen, saying, "This is an ending, mutant." Mikey then says to himself, "Stupid cocky fool, oldest trick in the book and I fell for it. Need to regroup, need some space. Need to stop the bleeding, need to catch my breath." As he drops into the sewer trying to bandage up his stomach, which is now bleeding out. However, Hiroto follows and the battle continues. Meanwhile, we see Casey Marie found April, who has finally fixed the water pumps. As the two get to safety, April tells Casey she put a tracker into Mikey's blood when she drew his blood in an earlier issue. Casey then says, "I've got a radio, I'll find him." After this, Mikey and Hiroto are thrown out of the sewer runoff just outside of the city, with Mikey telling himself, head spinning, guts leaking, can barely stand. As Hiroto says, "You will not survive this, mutant, I cannot be defeated." But Mikey tells himself, he's right, this whole thing's been a one-way ticket, but I'm not taking that trip alone. He then tells Hiroto, "You're wrong, Hiroto, I'm gonna bury you here. This mud hole will be your grave, broken and alone outside the city you tried to destroy, forgotten forever." In a fight that looks very familiar to Batman's fight with the mutant leader in The Dark Knight Returns. It's actually a pretty cool homage. Hiroto says, "No, you're wrong. I am God. I am immortal," as he activates an electric shock from his armor, electrocuting Mikey. But Mikey just suplexes Hiroto into the mud, which causes a large boom and charge to go off in Hiroto's armor, killing him. Mikey then climbs out of the mud, laughing to himself, saying, "Some god." As he gets to land, he flips on his backside, and Casey Marie arrives, saying, "Sensei, I'm here. Sensei, it's me." She continues to say, "No, you're not leaving me. You can't. I brought the journal. See, you were gonna teach me. You promised. It's not fair." Mikey looks at her and puts his hand on her shoulder, saying, "I'm sorry, Casey. It was my duty, my destiny for my family." She says, "But I'm your family now." He replies, "Yes, you, your mom, always. My father's journal, left it for you," as he coughs up blood. He then opens the journal and says, "It will teach you all he knew, but the last lesson is mine, most important of all," as we see the journal reveals his latest entry, and it says, "No peace." At this point, April arrives to see her good friend die in her daughter's arms, saying, "Oh my God, Casey, oh Mikey, goodbye, my sweet friend." As Casey cries on top of Mikey's body while the comic shows us that Mikey's flatlining, giving us the death of the final turtle, Michelangelo, the Last Ronin. We are then shown a sequence very similar to what we got in the first issue, where Mikey wakes up in his bed greeted by his three brothers who are anxious to get out and into the city and defend it from evil. We then see Mikey, Leo, Raph, Donnie, Splinter, and Casey Jones on top of a New York City roof, with Splinter saying, "New York City does indeed have its own unique odor." Mikey says, "Yeah, it does. Smells like home," alluding that Mikey is finally at peace now with his family in his own version of heaven. It's actually really epic how this moment came full circle, as we got a vision or dreamlike sequence very similar to this in the first issue when Mikey was thought to be dead, but April saved him. Love how it wrapped up this way with Mikey getting happiness in the afterlife. Really cool. Then in the epilogue of the issue, we see Casey Marie training in the sewer and kicking a punching bag so hard it breaks off its chains and flies across the room. Because remember, she's a mutant as well. She then closes Master Splinter's journal and, speaking to Mikey, says, "I wish you were here still to see how far I've come. But I'll keep training. I'll keep learning. I'll keep getting better, Sensei. I won't let you down." She then walks into her mom's lab saying, "How are the tests looking?" April replies, "Slight improvement actually. Lots more to get done though." Casey then says, "What's new?" "So what are we eating today?" April says, "Get what you want, kiddo. I'm not hungry." She then picks up an iPad saying, "Wasn't talking to you. Hey there." As we see on the final page, she's talking to an aquarium that contains 4 turtles, saying, "Hurry up and grow already. I've got so much cool stuff to teach you." Alluding that Casey Marie will be the next April to a new generation of 4 turtles. And with that, the comic ends by saying, "To be continued." Whoa guys, what can I say? I personally think this series was pretty much flawless from beginning to end. I've been a pretty big fan of the Turtles since I was a kid, so I think this was a perfect way to wrap up the Turtles story and set it up for a new generation. Now, does that mean we're not going to get Turtle stories involving Michelangelo, Leonardo, Raphael, and Donatello? Of course not. But this story is how Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird would wrap up the Turtles arc if it ever did come to a definitive end. And it's really cool that they were able to bring us that story. Again, I can't say enough good things about the Last Ronin series. Sure, it was plagued with delays, but like all good things, it was worth waiting for. From here, I hope we get a possible future story with Casey Marie in April O'Neil's role alongside 4 brand new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. But what do you guys think of this series? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Are you in the middle? Let us know in the comments. And that's going to bring today's episode to a close, but if you enjoyed this video, be sure to check out this one right here. And if you like all of our content, like, subscribe, and comment. It helps us out. But other than that, I'll see you next time when I talk about all things comics.